Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. Hello, everybody. Welcome. So glad to be here with you. Another Spiritual Rockstar Podcast show. All right, we're talking about 5 ways, of course. 5 ways to awaken to millions. Oh yeah, absolutely. Hallelujah, right? So how can we awaken to the deeper purpose that we're here for? I'm going to show you the steps, so to speak. Show you the ways that it can happen, the ways that you can practice for yourself to allow it to come into your experience. Do you want to meditate and make money? Let it be simple. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Go to yoursacredpurpose.com and get your free Meditate Make Money meditation today. There's a lot of people that are wanting to make a bigger impact right now. A lot of people that have that deeper calling, like yourself, to do something that will absolutely make that bigger shift in humanity or in the world in some way. What is the foundations? I have impacted probably millions of people ultimately because of all the thousands of people I've impacted. Who knows how many thousands, and that over all these years, directly through my work. And then the ripple effect of all those people connecting with people is huge, because some of the people I've helped have gone on to help thousands or maybe even millions of people, I'm sure. So it's a ripple effect. It's a ripple effect. So when I talk about awaken to millions, it's awakening to your big impact. It's about awakening deeper within yourself, and it's about awakening to the opportunities to see financial success as well. Simply financial success. Financial success would mean that not only do you enjoy a life that has financial plenty and abundance, but also is rich with financial energy that allows you to give back, that allows you to channel that energy into the areas you want to serve yourself and in the world for other people and other causes or things that you want to contribute to with love, with the care that comes from your heart. What are those things for you? What are those things? Take a minute right now. What are those things? And what are the ways to awakening to millions so that you can enjoy millions, impact millions, have this greater impact, and wake up fully yourself and awaken others is getting clear, just getting clear about wanting to really embrace and have that level of financial abundance. For some of you, it's still unwieldy. It feels like, well, wouldn't I have to fill in a blank? In order to be a millionaire, I would have to, let me fill in a blank myself, like on common beliefs. I would have to work really hard. I would need to be a slick salesperson. I'd have to be a crazy marketer. I would have to be more popular than I really am. I would need to be something that I'm not. I would need, just all the limiting beliefs will present themselves. And if you keep going, eventually, what you might find an exercise like this as part of these 5 ways. First one, being clear about your desire that you actually do want this in your life, is you may come to a place as you go on and on and on, completing the sentence, is that you're going to find that to be a millionaire, I would have to fully surrender to my purpose. I would need to really let go in order for it to be a reality. So after all your limiting beliefs get out of the way, you might find the real truths are revealing themselves just by filling in that blank again and again. This is a way of super getting clear and specific on what it is that you need to embrace, looking at the shadows that come up in your statements of non-truth, and allowing yourself to see the awakened presence that does want to bring the impact, to allow that to be revealed within your intention to embrace your desire. The first step, first way, embrace your true desire from your soul to make a big impact, and let it come with lots of money so that the money can be in service. The money can be in service to your purpose. That's one way. That's one way right there. There's all kinds of ways of deepening your clarity on your desire in general, and specifically just the general idea of being even a millionaire, much less like a billionaire or multimillionaire or whatever it may be. Those are all things that we have to really fully embrace at some level, in some way. So one way is to do something like I just said. Okay, so another way could be, it's like there's like tons of ways, right? I'm just giving you a few different ways. But that's one way, is getting super clear on your desire to make that bigger impact. Oh, by the way, on that one, you could fill in the blank on everything else you want with it. I want to be a fully awake entrepreneur that makes multi-millions. If you want to alter, you could do that too. In order to be a fully awakened multimillionaire, I would need to relax more, maybe. You'll find, right? Like meditate an hour a day or whatever it may be. Just fill in the blanks. You don't have to be perfect either in the follow through. Like I don't believe in that. I don't believe you have to be absolutely perfect on everything. Do you need to take the steps and be really committed to the essence of what is coming through? Absolutely. Fully committed to that. But you don't have to be perfect, not even close. Not even close. Okay, so that's one of the things. And then that the things that you're wanting to serve are really true. So number 2 is being really clear on what is the thing you really want to serve. And as an entrepreneur, if you want to make the millions through being an entrepreneur, business owner, what have you, that you're super clear on the sort of impact you really want to bring into the world. At the highest level, my life's over. At the end of my life, I would be able to say I achieved this, and that you would be able to say what that is, and you would have like that detail. So take time to write, a full page or what have you on the legacy you would leave, right? What legacy would you leave? What kind of impact would you bring to the world? That can help you to awaken to millions. It's awakening you. It's setting this foundation. This is what I'm here for. I'm here to help primarily people to set the foundation, either to become spiritual rock stars in the first place, or that you already are spiritual rock star in it out at one level, but there's a whole nother level that wants to happen, and you need to really claim that. And these are ways to do it. These are steps. These are things that I would perhaps ask my clients to do. It depends. Each person's a little different, but I have these five ways I'm talking about today. So you have those 2 ways. First one is to fully embrace your desire for making the big impact, making the big money. Next thing is around Allow yourself to be clear on the impact you really want and the specifics, like detailing that, getting that clear. So it's another way to awaken to it. Now we're going to start getting into some that are even more, I would say, are different. They're a little different than what you would normally maybe hear. Maybe. So the third one I'm going to share, as far as an awakening to millions, rather than I'm going to make something happen, which leads to unnecessary stress and suffering, which isn't the awakenedness within you, is to take, and I alluded to this in the first one, is to take more time to slow down and deepen within the presence within you. Slow down and deepen within the presence within you. I've offered retreats in the past called Awaken to Millions, where we had people meditating for days to deepen, mostly to just be connected. And then eventually I would ask questions like, okay, what wants to happen? What's emerging for you from your soul that wants to happen? And allowing the answers to come to you. So in a retreat setting, we're looking more big vision, big picture. But on a daily basis, if you're present, you're deepening your presence, which we'll talk about how to do that. My recommended steps. You can, just simply follow the presence within and let it happen. And again, always a great example is Eckhart Tolle. He's one that embodied that. He so loved and embraced, the presence within, that he wrote a book about it. He wrote multiple books about it, and the rest is history. And the impact, as far as what to do, when to do it, comes from a sense of timing he has from the presence within. You too can employ the same principle. Is to get out of the mind space, get into your body, get into the deeper presence within your body, as Eckhart would talk about himself, and to surrender your concepts about how things are supposed to be happening. Instead, giving yourself fully to the presence and letting what just truly wants to unfold each step along the way to unfold. This is a way we can awaken to the bigger impact. Because again, we want to do it in the easiest way possible, the awakened way. We're waking up not only ourselves, but we're bringing that impact into the world again, like Eckhart has done, and others, but I use him often. Okay, so that's another big key to awakening to millions. The fourth one is the opportunity to take actions comes as you feel a calling or an intuitive pull, or something pulls at you to take a certain action. You're just following the flow of that energy, right? You could say you're following that deeper energy. You're following the presence into action. They could be very small actions to your mind. They could be very big ones to your mind. But they're all just steps. They're not truly big or small, any of them really, but they're just steps you're taking. And you simply take the steps as they come to you. And this is another way to awaken to the millions. And so the fifth one, keeping this a bit short today, is the fifth one. After you do all the rest, you're taking the time to really embrace your desire, what's really in your soul, realizing that you're just your ego that wants to make money, but it's actually a spiritual impulse within you, and that you're embracing that, and you're doing that. You're really getting clear on the impact. You're taking the time to really deepen your presence and be in that presence through meditation, through which I didn't really mention that too much, but it's getting into your body, which can be through meditation, through your breath. Just becoming still helps you to settle into your body, into your awareness, your deeper awareness. Just practicing stillness throughout the day, not just a ding here and there every hour, which is fine, but like constantly, like constantly, like every time it occurs to you, and even more, like just constantly slowing down, deepen your presence. And then from that place, then following that presence into action in a perfect sense of flow, and not saying, well, the mind's fears and concerns, well, I'm not ready. But the presence is saying, yes, you do it anyway. You just go, you stay present. Fear only comes up when we become disconnected, right? So we become disconnected, now I'm fearful. Because you are kind of vulnerable now because you're not connected. So that's why you feel fearful. But if you stay connected, you won't feel so much fear. You might feel a little bit like and then as you take this step and you're committed to being in presence with everything, it'll fall away. It'll have no real hold on you. You'll be able to follow through. Like I have an action I'm being called to take, and I have no idea. There's somebody I'm meant to contact, and I have no idea how I'm going to contact this person. I guess I have some ideas. I guess that maybe that's not true. I have some ideas how I might be able to contact them, but I haven't tried yet. I have no idea where the answer is yet, but I'll go get to looking to where I know to look, right? And so I'll be doing that. And then I'm already of the mindset. Is that the mindset? Like, that's the thing with mindset. I swear maybe we could flesh this out a little bit. Like, mindset, there's nothing wrong with mindsets, but I don't call it wrong, but what transcends a mind, the idea of a mindset is I simply just know what's happening. If you want to call it a mindset, I guess, but it's just really knowing this wants to happen, therefore it will. And it's just being in the energy of that. I don't have to try to set oh my God, I can get that clear in my mind. It's happening. I can feel the desire for it. It feels so wonderful and true that I'm just like, okay, it'll happen. I'm going to take the steps in perfect timing, in the perfect way. And, contacting this person could lead to me reaching way more people for all I know. I don't know yet. I don't know. But I just know I'm meant to take this step. So we don't always know what it's going to lead to next, right? Each step we take. But any one of what seem to be significant steps, we don't know when one of those steps that's going to lead to a quantum leap in our impact, our reach, and ultimately our income and our wealth and the amount of money that we get to be connected to, the energy we get to be connected to within what we call money. Okay. So following that presence is, very, very key. And following the sense of the rhythm and the flow and the timing, I would say, is, if I were to give a fifth step, that would be part of it. Follow the rhythm, flow, and timing of things. Maybe there's a sort of a sixth one in there that's coming to me as, if you're really being present, this will happen anyway, but like really pay attention to details as well, right? So that would be my sixth one. We'll get into that one next, but it's a bonus sixth. But there's a timing for things. And just because you're getting a yes to go in a certain direction, presence is nudging you. The timing often can be now, but it often can be maybe later too, that the timing isn't right. Sometimes we need to write things down. And sometimes we're just so connected to it, we don't really need to write it down, but we just follow through on a certain action. And we just ask for us to have a sense of the timing, and that you will take, let me know when the right time is. Also, you just get a feeling at any time like, oh, I'm supposed to take that action now. And then you will. Like I'm sitting on some opportunities right now. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, right? In this world, we're all about, man, something's going on, jump on it as fast as possible. Don't hesitate. Well, there's some opportunities on my table right now. I mean, for me to get, for example, to connect with more people, maybe have more people I can help and more clients, different opportunities. That's be one of them that I'm thinking of right now. But like, I'm not just going on, oh my God, I better chase that opportunity as fast as possible. I'm like, yeah, well, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that, whatever it is. I don't know. I have a sense of the timing, but it could change at any moment. Not getting stuck in our concept of when it's going to happen. I could be, oh, I'm crystal clear. My guidance is saying do it on next week at Thursday at 12 or something. But all of a sudden, that could change at any time, just like a weather forecast. I mean, you never know when things are going to change. So you have to constantly be in tune in each moment so that you don't try to rush things and run things ahead or procrastinate, hold back so long on something that the opportunity withers up and dies, and it doesn't matter. It's not, the energy's not even there for it anymore. It's already passed. I've definitely passed on some opportunities in my life that may have been significant, may have done some really big things, but I passed on them because either I wasn't willing to go with it or it just wasn't right for me. I can't, I would assume it just wasn't right for me. I think I would have done it, but because that's kind of how I am. If I really know something's true for me, I'll do it. But if I don't, doesn't feel quite right, then I'm a little bit, not always, but I do take action when things don't feel completely right in the past. But if it was right, I probably would have done it. So just trusting and loving yourself right where you are, is part of following your perfect timing. Because when you're honoring yourself and you're in deep breath and deep presence and connection, there's a time for everything. And that whatever you're doing right now is you're in your perfect timing always. You're in your perfect timing always. To claim that truth. Maybe make an affirmation. I'm in my perfect timing always. Not allowing yourself to be confused or deluded, thinking, no, the perfect timing, I blew it, I should have that done by now, or whatever, all the things we say to ourselves. No, you're following your sense of timing, whether you think it's right or wrong. That's okay. It's an opinion. You can't be absolutely certain. Like, oh, I missed that timing, therefore, XYZ didn't happen. That would have been so great. Okay, maybe it wouldn't have been so great. You think it would have been great. Maybe you don't know. It's just trusting that the right timing is always there for you. And as you pay attention to the time, you get to have the experience of perfect timing. Yeah, everything's always in perfect time. Everything's right on cue. I'm enjoying it rather than you're always questioning the timing, right? Or you're delaying on things too much, or you're rushing things too much, but you're in perfect timing because you trust you're in perfect timing and you act in accordance with the natural rhythm and flow of life. So let's say that's a huge one. And again, we haven't even got into dealing with your false beliefs and all that stuff, but those are always huge, by the way. Those are all parts of the ways for sure. So those are, there's always more ways. That's definitely part of it. But that would be more in the category, again, just like details. Like these are other ways, but these ways are the ways that many people talk about, right? I'm talking about ways that aren't as talked about in a number of those points. And I figure, if we're talking about doing the spiritual rock star way, we're going to talk about the 5 ways in the spiritual rock star way, the awakened ways, right? So that's what I'm focused on more. And I find a lot of the need, this so-called need to deal with your false beliefs is minimized, is not quite seem as great when we're practicing these 5 steps. Why is that? Well, if you're owning your desire, for what's really wanting to happen, that can be enough if you're just clear on it. It can be. It really can be. This idea we have to work on our blocks for the rest of our lives, forget about it. Even though I've gone by the blockbuster for years, but it's kind of a tongue in cheek. It's like, yeah, the blockbuster, because in the end, I will talk about things I notice as blockages, but yeah, they don't really exist, and it's a matter of getting more deeply connected. So yeah, owning those real desires, therefore not allowing there to be a blockage anymore, getting aligned with it. People call it that. Getting clear on what your impact is meant to be in the world. So you have that big vision and to write it down, to be clear about it, maybe review it on a regular basis or even a daily basis, along with other things, other affirmations, plans, goals, etc. Those all can be helpful, although I don't know that they're essential, to be honest. I think about, again, Eckhart. He isn't sitting around, from what I've heard anyway, isn't sitting around writing countless affirmations and drawing up plans and all kinds of things all the time. Not so much. So just following presence is, basically 90-95% of it is my guess, if not 100%. So it's not necessarily required, but it could be of support and use to you on your journey. Again, the third one, deepening that presence. There's many ways of doing it, but and one of them would be to clear, limiting false beliefs. If you feel like doing some money talk method stuff I talk about, like you gotta like, oh, I'm feeling something, my energy, to tune into energy. Ask, what are you trying to tell me, really? Well, I'm limited. I can't possibly do this. No, what are you really trying to tell me? You're unlimited. You can do this. Like, that's trying to tell you just the opposite of what you think it is. So deepening in your present. Sometimes we do the belief work as part of that. That could be part of that third step. And then the fourth step, following that presence within. Wow. Following the connected presence, trusting that more than anything. Not your mind and what sounds smart when things thinks it's the right thing to do. No. Following the presence. Taking that action and following the right timing for things. Realizing, like, wait a minute, like, I'm getting this big idea to write these 10 books today, but and then it feels like you're connected with presence, starting to do it, but then before you know it, it's really it's like really monitoring. Am I really following my real presence and following that into action and perfect timing, or is something in my head saying I'm supposed to do this because I got a download today that I'm supposed to do this today and finish it today? When no, like all of a sudden you got the signal not to be doing it. And, it can change anytime, right? Never forget that. Timing can change spontaneously at any moment. The more we can be ready to course correct, the better off we'll be. So, again, Gandhi is a guide of mine. He would be leading people on marches, in certain ways. And then it's like, oh, we kind of got a plan. We're going this way. And then he'd be listening to his intuitive guidance. And all of a sudden they get like, no, we need to go this other way. Then they would go another way. They'd be marching the people this way or that way, to show up in another city to do whatever, or take another route. And because maybe the British soldiers were lying in their way and then they had found out the plans, then all of a sudden it becomes understood intuitively, like, oh, okay, fine. Well, then we'll change the route. Not because they had the information, but because you had someone like Gandhi who's tuning in and knows, like, oh, no, okay, don't go that way. And, many times you hear people say, I should have followed my intuition, right? I got to follow that guidance, that intuition. Doing things then again in right timing. You got a big idea, they want the world to change in a certain way. Do it right now today. Do everything right now today. It may be more efficient to wait, to allow the energy to be ripe to take action. And most of us are not meant to be pushing the way, right? Like 90+% of us are, if not 99%, some people would say, 90 some percent anyway, are not meant to be pushing the way forward. You know, we're not those knives in the energy. We're not. That's not who we are. We're meant to wait and to follow the signals we're getting. Go that way. And so that's basically it. But yeah, the other usual things, like I said, clearing false beliefs has made huge breakthroughs for me. Getting into the details, you know, what are the details that I need to pay attention to sharpen everything up, whether it be within it could be within your spiritual practices, in your mind, in your business, in your personal life, and you know, in your health, whatever it is. I mean, what do you need to sharpen up? What details need to be attended to? Not neglecting them, saying, "Oh, presence is enough," and then like, "Oh my God, I didn't attend to these details." Well, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Nothing matters. That's what a lot of people do. Is a lot of some people call it spiritual bypass. Nothing matters. I'm connected. It doesn't matter. No. Details matter. You know, a detail comes up. You need it's calling for your attention. You're supposed to give it to it, right? I always say, like, when people say things don't matter, I'm like, well, imagine a child's face on that problem or that situation or that opportunity, whatever. And they're saying, "Hey, let's pay attention to me." And then you say, "Well, we're all connected, you know, go away. Don't worry about it. You know, we're all connected. We're all one. I don't need to pay attention to you." It sounds totally ridiculous, right? If it was a child, everything's a child. Everyone's a child of God. Everything is that is calling for love and attention. And then we're meant to focus on that which we are guided to focus on, not to say, "Well, it doesn't matter." It's a mistake I've made too, many times. Many times. Like, I can just not deal with any details, you know? No, yeah. It doesn't work out so great all the time. It's not that it never works, it's just that it doesn't always work out so well. If you get so deep into such a pattern like that, things are not um, handled at the level that they could, the kind of care they could be taken care of. Therefore, the level of vibration of love. Um, and you don't have to take care of all the details necessarily, but you need to make sure they're taken care of, particularly in your business. Make sure they're taken care of one way or another. So with all that being said, is if you're wanting to awaken to billions and you feel like you're having a hard time energetically connecting with the fullness of what is my purpose, how am I supposed to, what is it really, how does it want to happen? I've reached, you know, 6 figures of success or maybe more, or you know, wherever you may be, but like you've reached success and you've used some willpower to get there in the past, but now you're feeling awkward. You know, you're supposed to go to a whole nother level of impact with whatever it is you're being called to do right now, but you can't seem to reconcile how to let that happen from this deeper way of being. And you also may be dealing with not knowing how to handle the details. Like, I don't know how to integrate this piece of myself with this piece of myself, or competing, a sense of competing desires, and finding the integration with all of it. That's where I do help people, is to understand what really wants to drop into you so they can be a signal for that and allow that to happen in your big mission, your big purpose, and to awaken fully within all of that. So if you're looking at support with that, I have these gifts that I'm sure if you've watched this show before, you've seen me use with energy scanning. And if you want to get support or consultation from me, you can go to yoursacredpurpose.com and fill out an application for a Rock Your Sacred Purpose energy scan consultation. And we'll take a look. There's so much more than what I talked about that are all parts, elements, and details. Like I said, details matter. But if I was just, okay, what are 5 ways? Like, what are the top 5 things we want to share with people? Well, that's what I gave you, you know, top 5. They're a good starting place. And it could be enough, honestly. It could be enough in itself. Could give you everything. But then there's these other things that our belief systems, the details, maybe not understanding who we are enough somehow, or whatever, or we just need support. It could be so many other things, and that need attention, that are part of that process, that are part of the unfoldment. So, and what are those things? What wants to happen through you? I'm able to accurately tune into your energy and reflect back to who you are, where you stand right now today, and often where, and where you things definitely want to go, and often even specifically how things want to play out. So if you would like to get supported in that way, you can apply for this Rock Your Sacred Purpose energy scan consultation, and you can go to yoursacredpurpose.com to do that. If not, you can always grab the free Meditate and Make Money meditation that we always mention here and start meditating and making more money right away. Get those downloads and that guidance and direction. Follow your presence to the greater glory that wants to happen through you as well. So, okay, great. Well, I've been grateful to share these things with you today, these 5 ways. And I'm just so grateful for you tuning in today. You keep on tuning in. We'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Till the next time. Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.